I'm Ryder Stallsh. I'm the founder and CEO of Thrive Courses. Today I'm very excited because we have another guest, and that's Mitch Durfee. He's the creator of the Credit Repair Blueprint course. And I am excited specifically because when I grew up poor. And nobody really talked about money or knew much about money. Seeing such things happen in my family, like electricity being shut down, not having money for groceries. I promised myself that I would learn everything I can about money and how money works so that I don't have to go through those kind of difficulties. And that's why I'm so excited to bring you, because that's what you do, and credit is such a big part of our lives. So I'm really excited to have that conversation. Actually, I got a little bit emotional there. I'm like, don't cry, don't cry. Because money is such a big part of our lives, right? We talk about money, we need money, and all of that ties to, at least in the United States, credit.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a similar situation. The lights were always on. We didn't really have a problem with that. But I always saw, like, a lot of people that were succeeding, right? And I was always trying to figure out what that big X factor was. I also grew up with a belief that, cash is king, right? That if I pay for everything with cash, then I never have to worry about owing anyone anything. And that was a big misbelief for me, that until I really bridged that gap, I was actually able to go from, really living like paycheck to paycheck and really struggling to actually starting to get some big results, because I learned how to make money using other people's money. And that's really what I wanted to share with a lot of people is, if they're struggling paycheck to paycheck, or if they're, maybe trying to figure out how to grow their business, like what's the secret that these people were using in order to really figure that out? And that's why I created the Credit Repair Blueprint.
So let's talk about, like, why not teach, for example, like budgeting or all these other things that people teach. Why did you choose to talk so much about, just credit repair in general?
Yeah. So my background was a real estate agent, real estate investor, and I was helping people buy their homes. And a lot of the people that I was helping buy homes, like, they would come to me and say, "Hey, I really want to buy a house in the next 12 months." And I would ask them, like, "Are you pre-approved? Have you spoke to a lender yet?" And the biggest challenge that they'd tell me, they'd be like, "I haven't had it yet because my credit has a problem with it." And then I would work with them to figure out what was going on with their credit. I didn't start off as a credit repair expert. Like, my background really is real estate, e-commerce, and business. But what I learned by growing those companies was how to actually leverage this credit and how to work with lenders. And those skills transferred over to help people be able to buy their first home. So the Credit Repair Blueprint wasn't something that I set out to build. It was just something that by default, after helping almost 5,000 people fix their credit, it was like, hey, these are the systems and procedures that you can use to fix your credit.
I know a lot of people don't even want to look at the credit score because they know it's bad.
Yeah.
And they don't want to face it. What would you say to people who, like, almost like, I don't want to hear about it, I don't care, I'm going to continue using cash? What would you say to them?
I think that there is a little bit of a barrier there, right? Like, and I think it just comes down to maybe pain or a little bit of humbleness, that, if you're struggling with it, it's so much easier just to kind of box it up and leave it for later. But the thing is, like, with credit, like, if you have, derogatory remarks or late payments on your credit, or you're missing student loans, or you missed a car payment, like, or maybe you have a foreclosure, or any of these things that happened, maybe it wasn't your mistake. Those things don't really just disappear. It takes like 7 years. So, like, while a lot of people try to avoid that pain or opening up that box, the truth is a lot of those things can actually be fixed in 2 to 3 months. They're carrying this weight for so long. But, like, just by filling out dispute letters, or opening up new lines of credit, or showing that they can actually fix their credit to these lenders, it can actually change, and then that weight is off their shoulders. So I would say to the people that are avoiding looking at their credit that, it actually doesn't take as long as you would think it would to be able to actually fix your credit.
Beautiful.
So don't be afraid of it, right?
Beautiful. Just kind of like
face it
head on, and with some guidance they can figure out how to do it.
Well, that's the other thing, right? There's a lot of bad information out there with credit. Even myself, I learned over the years, right? Like, don't open up new credit cards. Hey, I opened up a new credit card, my score was affected. But there's a couple different reasons for that. And inside, the Credit Repair Blueprint, we show people what actually happens with these factors. If you're reading the wrong blueprints, you're going to build the house wrong, right? So the Credit Repair Blueprint was specifically designed to walk people through these steps so that they can actually get over those hurdles.
Even if they don't sign up for the course, or I still want to bring a lot of value.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what are the three biggest mistakes people make that really affect their credit score.
When you're really looking at a credit score, most times they really do fall into a few different categories, right? It's no credit or bad credit. One thing is, if you have bad credit or no credit, then you can start off with a secured credit card, right? That's a great tip for a lot of people starting off. Secured credit card basically means that you put money onto a credit card, and that is your available account balance. The more account balance you put on there, the more available credit you can use. The second thing would be credit utilization. If you put $1,000 on a credit card and you max out that credit card, you've used 100% of your credit utilization. That will really hurt your credit score. So a lot of people are using these credit cards because they say, hey, I have $1,000 available, and every single month, maybe they're riding that balance. That negatively impacts your credit score. There's a couple different ways that you can fix that. One is opening up new credit lines, right? So if you open up a second credit card with another $1,000, now you have $2,000 available. So your credit utilization is cut in half, which will increase your credit score. But really, you want to keep your credit utilization below 30%. And in an ideal world, less than 10%. That's where you're going to get the most benefit. So bad credit or no credit, and credit utilization are the two biggest things that you're going to see that are impacting a lot of people's credit. And then the third one is credit history. If people are opening up new credit cards, and this is what we were talking about earlier, if they open up a new credit card and they had one credit card that has 5 years and they opened up a brand new credit card, that cuts their credit history in half. So their credit age is also another big factor. And the quickest way to fix that is really opening up more credit cards and letting them grow, or using what's called a trade line.
I love that because when I moved to the United States, I followed, I wanted to be successful, and often success, we want to be financially successful because it's a big part of our lives. And I remember following a lot of experts, and I heard a lot, avoid credit cards, just avoid credit cards. And I did that for a while, and then I just later, as I gather more information, try to listen to multiple people, get different opinions, I realized that if you're responsible, credit cards can be one of the best things that you do for yourself and your family.
Yeah. I know for me, especially in business, right? So another reason why we created this course is because of business credit. Business credit does tie off from your personal credit. And when I was trying to grow my companies, I was like, oh man, I really need a new vehicle. Except if I don't have the cash to buy a new vehicle to be able to grow my business, then I'm kind of in that box. But once I learned how to leverage credit and leverage business credit, then I was able to get more vehicles, which allowed me to grow my company. So yeah, there's a lot of bad information like don't get a credit card or don't open up these lines. But if you're responsible and you follow the right steps, then oh my God, it's so powerful. Imagine having access to $50,000 interest free for your business to be able to grow it, or in an emergency, right, having access to capital or other people's money at 12 months interest free to be able to pay for any of these unknown expenses that come up, right? You need a roof and you don't have the cash in the bank. Well, a credit card allows you to be able to pay for those things that you need in a time of need.
So it sounds like this is what you teach in the course. It's important for individuals, just that they have jobs and they have families, and also people who either want to start a business or they already have a business, correct?
Yeah, inside the course, there's a lot of different things that we put in there, and we're continuing to add things every day. I would say the biggest benefits are actually truly understanding how your credit works, because there is so much information out there that says oh, don't open up a new credit card. You can open up this credit card, but this is going to happen. So teaching you the 5 factors that really impact your credit. And the other cool benefit is inside, we actually show you all these sign-up bonuses. We have a list of over $10,000 worth of sign-up bonuses inside there. So when you open up these new credit cards, you can get paid for these new sign-up bonuses. We've also done bank accounts, right? So if you're opening up a new personal checking account or savings account or even business account, there's hundreds of dollars that you can earn every time you open up a new account. So the course really is designed to teach you how to use credit, to get access to these benefits on how to use credit, and then really leverage the rewards and perks of owning credit. And the truth is, at the end of the day, the reason I put all this stuff together is because I really wanted to help a lot of people, right? So as a real estate agent, I was doing all this stuff in one place to help people be able to buy their first homes or buy their first investment properties. But there's so much information that was out there that in order to be able to give it to more people, I had to put it into a system. And that's really what the Credit Repair Blueprint is. It's systematic, so that way no matter where you are on your journey, whether you have no credit, bad credit, or if you are really struggling with getting your credit score up and running, or if you're looking to grow your business, it's all in that one place. And I think they're if they're interested in really taking control of that credit and scaling up their business, or buying their first house, or maybe buying an automobile, that's a huge one too. Inside this course, there's a lot of value there.
Okay, I want to hear from you. What is the one biggest mistake you made at some point in your life that really affected your credit score negatively?
Yeah, credit utilization is something I never really understood until I really dove deep, right? I'll go back, way back to when I was in the Army. I can remember it. I got back from Iraq, and my grandparents gifted me a Jeep. It was a 95, red 95 Jeep Cherokee. I was driving back from snowboarding in Colorado, and the engine broke on the way back home. And I didn't really have any money saved up. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, well, I don't know anything about vehicles, like, at this point in time. And I had to buy a new engine for this thing. I had one credit card with $1,000 on it, right? And it was $1,500 to be able to put this thing on there. At this point in time, like, I had no credit history. I had, I didn't do the systems up front. And, I maxed out my credit card. They're not going to give me loans because I maxed out my credit card first. Like, if I knew about this, I probably could have went to the bank first, asked for that personal loan where they would have been able to give me all this stuff up front. Yeah. Credit utilization will really hurt your credit score and hurt your ability to be able to get approved for more credit lines. Or loans when you need them.
Okay, now I'm going to flip that. Yeah. The best decision you have made when it comes to credit.
Yeah, so now, fast forward with credit, I leverage credit to the max, right? So I have business lines of credit. I open up credit cards that give me $50,000 interest free for 12 to 18 months. This week alone, I was going through looking at my new credit card offers, and I'm like, which one of these credit cards will give me another $25,000 to $50,000 for the next 9 to 18 months? So again, when you're scaling up these e-commerce businesses, if I can get access to $25,000 interest free, then I do it because I'm literally able to build my companies based off this free interest free money.
Yeah, powerful stuff. And if somebody is watching this video and they're like, they maybe feel a little discouraged, or they feel like they don't have the ability to figure this out and maybe get the credit score to whatever they have, 700s, 800s. And they're just gonna feel like, I tried some strategies in the past. What would you say to them?
I would say that it's true, right? So again, the reason I created the Credit Repair Blueprint was because I've witnessed so many people going out and paying these companies monthly fees to send out credit repair letters, right? So the credit dispute letters, they don't always work. It's not the solution that works every single time. I'm probably the only guy in the business that'll tell you straight up, like, hey, you're not always going to get results with that. But there are 5 things that really will fix your credit. And if you follow those steps inside the course, you're actually going to understand what impacts your credit and how you can actually move forward.
Mitch, thank you. As always, appreciate you.
So good to see you.
And I would encourage you to, take a look. And I think it can make a big impact on you and your family, and most importantly, your financial freedom. Thanks so much.
Thanks.